to take a bit of time, and I'm on phone follow me pa. This week, Anna, this statement from the office of the president said the chief justice has been suspended. Now, I suspended the chief justice, and pursuant to Article 1466, President Ate, Sa committee 5-member. Now, the Dini started say about people were making inference or share a dinner banner. It gives you a view of Niyama Ekoso, what is in the petition near there. Now, no pay, and I'm one of the petitions, and I'll share with you. I had to make some calls before meet me here because I wanted to know me breaking the ethical rule. But because I'm a journalist and I have my sources, some of them I would say are from my sources. Now, to take a bit of time, I want to follow me. One of the petitions now, I am from a police officer, and I am from ACP Ayamba. Obi will say, then ACP Ayamba, Ebenya, the strength to even petition the president to remove no mean person than the chief justice. Nana, asamno beginning very long time ago in Takrade. People should follow me. This man is an ACP, he's an assistant commissioner of police. And assistant commissioner of police. You are just, I think, at the last rank. Because commissioner is the last rank. IGP rank. If I'm mistaken, people should correct me. I think the last rank in the police is the commissioner of police. And I know a very senior police officer. And a science lawyer. Nana, in 2018, I filed a case with secondary Takrade. What was the case about? Because of a time. The case in the ACP Ayambe, Ekoto Asase a belonging to a branch of Netherlands, friend Brian Rodenbeck. Nana, all those are beachfront property. Na Asase a dine was so a bay you so the kind of beachfront property as soon as who beach in any idea Takrade. Nana, so let me read the plaintiff's case for you. And I bet you, as I say, the plaintiff's case is that he purchased a property located at this place, Busua, from one Bram Rodenbeck, a Dutchman who was resident in Ghana up to 2013. Nasa Brante not to Ghana until 2013 or called Krum. That the purchase is evidenced by a deed of assignment dated October 9, 2015. So now, a year processed by 2015. The said deed was duly registered with the Lands Commission. The plaintiff's case is that by the terms of the deed, Brian Rodenbeck has assigned the remainder of his interest 46 years. Now, that's what I say about years. Brian used to property, and by the time I walk on, I 46 years. So, according to ACP police, the interest I 46 years. So, what I into a hand over side interest, not the amount. To the plaintiff, that Brian Rodenbeck negotiated, signed, and executed the deed of assignment through his lawful attorney. And a born the lawyer Nidin, Madam Evelyn K. Lai. Sama Minana Kainidini Mame. No, yeah, Brian Rodenbeck, no, the girlfriend on any war Ghana. And this girl will be the material witness to an MIA course. I didn't because a Kainidini Mame. Now, I say it was also the case of the plaintiff that Madam Evelyn Lai's authority to negotiate, sign, and execute the deed of assignment for and on behalf of Brian Rodenbeck. It's evidenced by the power of attorney which was duly given to her by Brian Rodenbeck and dated 1st January 2014. Now, the plaintiff case is what to assassin. Now, assassin or to not turn through a power of attorney. Now, not jam to anyone. It was say a cockwa and sign BB mame. Now what I said, man, turn through Janto direct. Me to free a cockwa because I want my cockwa according to the plaintiff, the power of attorney. Now, asam the court na no be a bone kura. Then, when the court was decided, one of the key issues was the power of the attorney. Now, okay case where what? There's the full court case. There's official court case. The ruling, sorry. Now, you say. The girlfriend forged the signatures of Brian Rodenbeck and the tongue, sa property, Emma police officer.
Ah, sa girlfriend here lawyer.
No, no lawyer. Okay. One man the power of attorney.
Okay, one man to me, sir.
To me. So the girl defrauded.
Oh.
The ACP. Now, say apparently, if be notary public.
Okay.
Say notary public, no, perform authenticated documents. Na nansa na obey authentication esa wo nana janto wugina ho na wo hu se wa sign bibia ansa na wa authenticate document no according to the ruling from the secondary high court banana almost share the first page of the document na omu hu say a photocopy. Brian no claim they say the girlfriend na found a passport and or left in another passport to bio data no. Also signature or and or left his signature no to do this forgery. And or they say notary public no copy or call you at Timota. And almost signed the man or the Tom property in my police officer.
Wow.
And then Osha the final ruling from the court. My main counsel say the false declaration made by the notary public is on all fours with a fraudulent act calculated to present the power of attorney as an authentic document.
Right.
Meanwhile, the notary public never witnessed the purported execution and so cannot authenticate same. Nana bofuka kakane chese notary public no ese wo hu se dan to ama power of attorney no nanim ansa na authenticate get ne de na ode ba na a photocopy document no authenticate here, so that defeats the processes of authentication no.
Right.
Nana what you say or say plaintiff is a senior police officer and a lawyer. Unfortunately, he failed to exercise due diligence before entering into the transaction for the purchase of the third defendant's property.
Right.
By plaintiff's own showing, he knew about the execution process related to the power of attorney. He, however, shut his eyes to the obvious anomaly associated with the process and the document itself. Court says, "Who police officer? We a lawyer." And what Tadia and Mrane Trese, a notary public news, and Nippon the power attorney Nama Sumesi, and Sana authenticate when Musana or Kotoyano. One year due diligence.
Right.
This is the statement of the court. And another is the ruling. Now, interestingly, the lawyer for the police officer in the case was the current deputy attorney general, Dr. Justice Ramsay.
Okay.
Now, in a case they travel, Yama even 8,000 cedis cost against
the plaintiff.
The plaintiff.
Okay.
Now, in a case in the court, there's a Stakrade High Court. A court now the court Supreme Court because of the time. So I've skipped some of the process for you. But Nana, all girlfriend or properties are here. Case documentary. What would say be your girlfriend or properties here? Because Nana, the court established how the girl was able to defraud a senior police officer and a lawyer. Nana man based on this ruling, I'm not making a general statement. Yeah. Based on this ruling there, Nana man I'm starting relevant cases to even defraud a lot of process.
Okay.
Now, no, the case traveled all the way to the Supreme Court. Not telling what say.
Yeah.
Assembly Court Supreme Court, no. Now, date, no. April 5th, 2024. Or say 2024, April 5, 2024. ACP Akrugu Nedine Biwe Kaun Akrugu challenges Supreme Court decision media reporting property fraud case.
Right.
Meka Adamo say Assistant Commissioner of Police Ayanga, a legal practitioner, responded to what he perceived as unjust media representation following the Supreme Court decision in the property fraud case. Now say ACP Ayanga in a rejoinder disputed the legality of his arrest and detention orders from November 14, 2023. Nana date was Nutimame.
All right.
And accused the Chief Justice of a cover-up. So Nana, the petition against the Chief Justice from this police officer, no, assembly beginning in 2018. In fact, I'll say, the controversy arises from the Supreme Court of Ghana dismissal of ACP Ayanga's final review application, a complex property fraud case. Also a Protestant lawyer, blah, 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 say. However, the legitimate attorney proved in court that the sale was fraudulent, and no payment evidence was provided to support the claim. The High Court overturned the sale, returning the ownership to say this Dutch guy, Rodenbeck, and censoring ACP Ayanga for the lack of due diligence. Despite this event, ACP Ayanga maintained his innocence and point to lawyer Shla Abeye Backman for formalizing the disputed power of attorney and sale offer without involvement. Now, this is why Otros are rejoined that way. And what your statement you say, amidst an ongoing investigation by the Commissioner on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj into the Chief Justice's conduct, ACP Ayanga criticized the Chief Justice's participation in March 27, 2024 review panel as a conflict of interest and a breach of judicial impartiality. Now, I'm can't note date, ma'am. The reason I made you know this date is because of something I'm come to tell you. November 14, BBC or court. And a media reporters are Brantiano, Etienne, Chief Justice. Ebra Assembly travel all the way from the High Court in Secondary to the Supreme Court. No?
Yeah.
Now, Chief Justice not a panel, no, so any behavior. So he ordered for the arrest of the gentleman. In fact, and a media report in it shows say he detained him for hours. And it took some senior lawyers in court that day. Send a number appeal to the Chief Justice and the panel. Some lawyer no and the senior police officer nako. According to ACP Ayanga, yes, I see your court.
Yeah.
It is a media report and you know creating or throw rejoin than 1. 2. Assembly see you know or throw command shraj. Nanetio. It's in the first quadro of the board Chief Justice no and your petition we in the first. Or throw command shraj say Chief Justice na gunanima say. Or say unfair to her. Enti Assembly 2023 no throw command shraj. Aden a year review in March 2024. Chief Justice na be transfer panel no so because we believe say the on na year 2023 ninti
no person or asobetua ne ka.
Yes, obey unfair to him.
Okay. I get it.
It's in as option ACP Ayanga any Chief Justice beef no a long years of beef. Now this is what happens in court according to Ghana Web, and I'm coming to read to you verbatim what happened in court that day. Now say the report explained that Ayanga disagreed with the dismissal of his application and the subsequent imposition of 10,000 costs against his side. Now say, according to Ghana Web, Nyama Ayanga bufu yene say, Supreme Court can say they are upholding what the High Court in second year. No more born 10,000 and the buan so. His emotional response, particularly directed at the Chief Justice, prompted the court's decision to take strict action. And I mean, we come say, senior members of the legal community, including Edward Tuya and Dr. Basit Bamba. Now, this man is part of the General Legal Council, President Mahama nominating from the University of Ghana, rose to plead for clemency. Now, look at the words that Ghana abused you. And this story is dated 2023, a day after the incident happened in the Supreme Court. Or say, to plead for clemency on behalf of Ayanga. Despite their effort, the Chief Justice expressed concern over Ayanga's conduct, referencing a previous report from the Takrade High Court to highlight similar behavior. Edana, Ebro mu pleading no, ana Chief Justice catch up say papa oni ne huni, oba court and nyema on nya papa. Saa na court Takrade High Court nso koye. Na this what happened. I want a Justice Pomaya say so no na ye chairman of our committee a the Chief Justice le niema mu no reported to have advised Ayanga that aggression has no place in a courtroom and urged him to adhere to all rules of legal arena. Manana utie Ghana Web report now there was no mention of arrest, there was no mention of detention.
All right.
Now let's move on. Okay, ACP Ayanga petition na na in law mo law you be circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
And you what evidence na nkasa. Me threaten say me say me the car be you say na bibia koto. Based on that circumstantial evidence and I can be accused to be the one I do bone. Na what you here. And I real evidence ya be to say me kura ade na nkasa do bone me no me gina obody no ho na sa ade ni kura me. Now this is exclusively petitioner ACP no the command President John Dramani Mahama or introduce you who ye bibia banana on the issues no issue 1 no na hear or say whether or not after delivery of judgment she made the meaning and disrespectful remarks against me as a barrister. In an actual the issue no ne Chief Justice on it's largely about egos. He feel that the Chief Justice bruised his ego and our Chief Justice nan kase ye. That is why he's unhappy. Now, I'll see on 14 November 2020, my case was called for hearing. The names of the parties and counsel representation were recorded. The proceedings commenced and ended by delivery of the ruling and award, of course. The Chief Justice delivered the ruling dismissing my case as without merit, but no reasoning for the decision. Now, I'll see Chief Justice not to the case, but I'm reason behind. According to ACP Ayamba, I was calm and silent and seated when she delivered the ruling. I hadn't to start here. Suddenly, I heard them making off-judgment demeaning remarks against me to the fact that I am incompetent senior barrister. Banana, asama allegedly ACP Ayanga Ken. Takrade High Court on the catchreo in the ruling and I'm the chair. Say, we are police ni. So when it comes to authentication of public documents, you should know the process. So why didn't you follow the process? So now exclusively. This is one of the petitions. The remarks were discourteous, disparaging, and disrespectful against my person and professional competence as a barrister.
Chief Justice kan you know. as a man are useless.
Yes.
As a woman.
It's nana assembly tough and say police officer akota asase. Asase no koto nipa koto no o defraud no.
Okay.
Ana high court ebutia wa takrade. Ana samna ba Supreme Court. The ba Supreme Court chief justice e rule asem no. And no make comments bi a police ni say anya ne de because obu na nim tie say senior police officer ni obi ono hwe lawyer ni. Nti president man yi na di. Again no osan call ya say chief justice behavior na against the judicial processes. Any tenant say chief justice say nya, any judge of the Supreme Court say unya. So this is the case of ACP Ayamba. And this is also the response from the Chief Justice. Leaky petition, but the Chief Justice has responded. Now, the response in my main time for purposes of fair reportage, I say, Your Excellency, while I do not hesitate to apologize on behalf of the Supreme Court and myself, if any court user, including the petitioner, had a bad experience in court while I was presiding over a case, my humble submission is that the petition does not provide any element of misconduct or incompetence that led to the removal of a Chief Justice under the 1992 Constitution. Now, Chief Justice said, okay, Article 146 now. The grounds to remove a Chief Justice, and there are three. Now, what are the grounds to remove the Chief Justice? Okay, Article 146 now. The grounds to the Chief Justice are not remove you must prove grounds. Chief Justice said, what's my boo and in Tia court? Me no one can say ye. Oh, me jitum, eh, be a my power chow. But you need to prove, say, Sadia course, no. One of the grounds. I bet him the Chief Justice Mebush. Now, Article 146 will say, a justice of the Superior Court or chairman of a regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except 1. Stated misconduct or incompetence, or on grounds of inability to perform the functions of the office arising from infirmity of the body or mind. Tinana misconduct 1, incompetence 2. Yariye bi entimi mane na juma. Chief Justice say, Abrante no kwadu odi abom se mabu na nimtia o court. Makasa me anya ne de no. Me as Chief Justice and the Justice of the Supreme Court, no, that does not prove one of the three grounds for me to be sacked as the Chief Justice.
Sebia mechuanim.
Yes.
Mekasa anya ode no.
Yes.
Inti empamo no.
Yes.
Osanse.
The hearing and proceedings complained about the procedures of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is always composed of not less than 5 justices for the exercise of a judicial function under Article 128 of the 1992 Constitution, except when its work is executed by a single judge under Article 143. In the conduct of the work of the Supreme, the presiding judge, whether the Chief Justice or another senior member of the court, is not the court. So the Chief Justice contention is that they not even the chairman of the committee in the Chief Justice Puama was there. Justice Yoni Kolendi was there. And Omunya Katras Abranti show Suman Justice Puama Justice Kolendi woho. So the Chief Justice contention is that why are you singling me out? Because single me out.
Meanwhile, so Wamaya will say, Oko Supreme Court and Yenny Pabako.
Yes, except in Article 134. Normally, in a 5, who case in a 5 panel. 5 panel, no, at least 3 lawyers on the panel. Now, Justice Kolendi cried then was say, Justice Kolendi they had used the opportunity to deliver a brief lecture on effective advocacy, linking it to the act of wooing a woman. Nana, Sir John, dear, no, so okay.
Yeah,
are you go to? Oh, my lord, I'm a birthday cram, Mr. Bunia mame. Attach your koye document no. The client call them. The natural said justice no. You colony can say, so person will not favorable document. As I said, you only or back so person in the chimpana. Defe kakra.
Later would the oba I want some police in America.
Or say he emphasized that the courts are swayed by persuasion, not aggression. Na na akopọ ba wonya he mepew me no betena dabi oh ba mani jo ho oh ene nkodi di kakra oh ene da he me do be pie kakra eye persuasion
enye
so the Chief Justice contends that Justice Loni Kolendi reprimanded you, Justice Puama reprimanded you, then na me nkoa de what's me nkoa me de yeyi wadi na what the Chief Justice dey na say as stated by the petitioner, other members of the court gave various directions and contributions during the proceedings of the day. All those directions and contributions form part of the work of the court that day.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I was saying, a a justice of the Supreme Court, now there will say, I wish to also clarify that the manuscript records of the court in the records book of the Supreme Court are summaries of presentation and orders of the day relevant to the business of the court and nothing more. Nana, ACP Ayamba, one of the petition, he accused the Chief Justice of tampering with evidence. Say, some proceedings there court today, no matter delete be a film. So this is what the Supreme Court is the Chief Justice is responding to say. Also clarify say records say enye bibia no motro. Or say they are summaries of presentation and orders of the day relevant to the business of the court and nothing more. This is the reason why records of each panel are signed by each judge on the panel, signifying their agreement that it constitutes a true record of the essence of the proceedings and orders from the proceedings. Further, no judge manages or administers the electronically captured records of the court. These records are managed by the court recorder. Thus, respectfully, the petitioner's demands for liability for the records he is seeking on the matters that occurred concerning are not appropriately targeted. Or say, the Supreme Court here na juma wi ade no na na janto justice ye de ba say na kan yo say na tro yo no asan senior man so de no ye de ba justice na so asan Eugene Osei-Tutu ma sign me de enti say wo say records no nye papa enya me judge na me say adwuma court staff na say adwuma no so why are you accusing me of tampering with the records?
And you see, based on this, me president, but if, for example, I had to say, yes, John Mahama Buofu.
Yes.
Now what's here Haruna Drusu?
Yes.
Now Haruna Drusu about Bontia Bekase. Me calling president to cry what's
yes.
Into president on resign.
Yes. Banana. This is just one petition. Now this is where I bring in my source. Last week, one of my sources, a very senior person. Another reason, and actually the composition of the committee, you see this name. Is because allegedly, let me use allegedly, 2 years ago, there was an internal audit by the Judicial Service. And then they found some financial misappropriations, allegedly. I have not proven it. The case is still before the committee. Now, in fact, I'm seeking legal advice before I did what I did was because we can't take 146. Everything happening must be in camera. You can't in camera. You say you're behind the camera. They're in camera. Just say you're them. The reason why this man, Yaudom level, you didn't count when they say, I say, Sika Sembi allegedly.
Okay.
I mean, who's a media reporter quote figures? I cannot substantiate any evidence. That's why I'm using the word allegedly.
Right.
So now I'm told that the 3 petitions, one that the Council of State so they recommended the suspension is because of the financials and not necessarily Ayamba's petition.
Okay.
That's what my source tells me.
Almost say Otamsika and number 2 kwino.
Yes.
Sa eno.
Yes.
Sebia Chief Justice kono de ne banso kan.
Yes.
And your money per day.
Yes. I am told say they leverage the experience of justice, the former justice of the Supreme Court, Fire Kufu. Or the for policy nim. They found some inconsistencies.
Okay.
And a Chief Justice response, it wasn't convincing enough.
Okay.
So the majority of the Council of State, which is the constitutional imperative, Article 140, the president must consult them. A votee say he must be or she must be suspended.
Okay.
So Nana, that is why Dom Levo is in. But Nana Bibu says the justice for Maya assembly see no hobby. No ebe chairway no. Nana no ne fault. Okay. Article 146 na where mra. Na no say Article 1466. Where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice. That will make it easier. Or say where the okay, Nana, so there's it. Where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, Mandamus, acting in consultation with the Council, appoint a committee consisting of. So, Nana, the prescription of the committee, the Constitution has defined it. 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor MPs, nor lawyers. Now, say, 5 committee near Betty. She established the prima facie basis say nipa na di boni bi ne yɛfa no co process ni ma say 2 justice of the Supreme Court judges omo maka na enye so oye Council of State member enye so oye lawyer enye so oye MP. Nana, I have an issue here. The first issue is that me boss in na jantoa Nana Danso suspended allegedly for some year. Me and somebody in the I'm supposed to sit on the case. We can use retired justices of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I think there's an issue here.
Say Supreme Court ne boss.
Yes.
I'm see Supreme Court for.
Yes.
The bianso. Oh yeah, yes, amasa.
Yes.
Na ye ni friwa yes wumum.
Ebetra na sem so. Nana answer to chance kakra.
Harding.
Nana, it's not the prescription. Nana, another question is so about say, can the president suspend him? Yes. The constitution prescribes say where a petition has been referred to Article 1416 to a committee under this article, the president may Nana have a discretionary power. May in the case of the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the council by warrant, signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice. So you can see that all the processes President Mahama and the government have done, the Constitution agrees. It's a constitutional process. You may not like it, but so far there's nothing illegal about it.
Yeah.
B, in the case of other justices of the Superior Court or chairman of the regional court acting in accordance with advice of the Judicial Council, suspend the justice. So a suspension of the chief judge, the president may do it. But Nana, the president doing it, the president must do it with Article 296 in their mind.
Right.
Because the catch was a media, a discretionary power. Article 296 say, where in this constitution or in any other law, discretionary power is vested in any personal authority. A, that discretionary power shall be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid. Ahano, and a subjective analysis that the president may suspend a discretionary power exercise. 296 A say it must be seen to be fair and candid. I have a political football on the bem. But when you talk about the strict law and the processes so far, I don't see any issue.
Right.
Now the last question I answer for you is that then Tina, you did justice Paul Bafuboni, Abaye acting chief justice now, Nhyira director of prisons under Mahama, Ninian and Naya radio go do owner. Into yamba some of the neighbor no NDC ni Nana. The law is the law. What does the law say? Article 1446 or say where the office of chief justice is vacant or where the chief justice is for any reason unable to perform the functions of his office, A, until a person has been appointed to and has assumed the functions of that office, or until the person holding that office has resumed the functions of that office, as the case may be, those functions shall be performed by the most senior of the justices of the Supreme Court.
Right.
Now, the current justice of the Supreme Court, I'm told they are 14. The most senior is Justice Paul Bafuboni.
Yeah.
On the 11th of June 2008, and President Kufuor together with other 3 justices, Justice Enim Yeboah, Justice Doche, Justice Constance Rose Wusu, and Obomudi on the 11th of June, or sworn in actually, on the 11th of June 2008. The next senior and a justice for my 2015. So, Justice Bafuboni is only there because of Article 1146B. That is it.
All right.
That is it. No. So, this is the process so far. The other 3rd petition, and also may go, but my legal friends advise me against showing that.
Yeah.
So my 2 petitions, I am by there, and then the financials and the processes so far. Next week, if I get the clear answer, I'll do the other ones for you.
Eugene Osei-Tutu, the fact checker. Inti ne tofa ne se nipa miensa mate se bi kura sa beka ho, but nipa miensa na wo mudi aba. No. The first one no edie no se fase. The first one ne die no I to say obi se wan kasa nkyere mi yenti empamo and emu oha we say we gina so na dia apam si gya na emu oha say wan kasa ne bufu oteatea me sa ene ne sanka ha de nke yi nkrofo adiu na onim Jimmy Agla general manager ti obetia enti na ze akọ report na makosi twum say Jimmy Agla chia enti yempamo no and be ye nyina ye diu and yeah I mean say it's sad mfa. The other thing now, omususu yese otam sika bi ene ne ba etu kwan. According to the reply, no tia Chief Justice say, oh, ewo mmra kwan mu ena wo de saa ade ne yeye because ya ka che ne say owo ho kwan say opeso tu kwan a obetimi atu saa kwan no and any other person say ye na busuani obetimi de nakọ eka ho ne de omu na behwehwem. But the question is, they be a maker, I was at the way who they say, dear ye say, ya sheni ya say NDC elusu abadachia Chief Justice Kronobeko because ope umpo Chief Justice bi obebe biano or ye NDC Chief Justice. Me say kabim. NDC for many abre uncle bi okra woni masem ni mu but yes won kwa no so won kenken tinene ya go down for you to understand it enya wo emotions ni won kwa no eyese onko de ntina onko na wo hwe petition na sem otea me ti onko emu oha se sika sem bia eye fair enti ebehwe mo hu se o kwa abrochira obetimi de ukuna akọ obetimi de oyira akọ ubetimi de obako now de kwa wan ne bebo sa aka no ene ye question na ye betimi aka ho asem we disika sa na se wo disika etimi pamo which is fair enti afen so ni escalate no se ye se we disika ana wa mismanage ana wa ye misappropriation na yamso ye beko back ni akohye yera John Dramani Mahama ni time as a president or mismanage ye or misappropriate ye. Say yesika die bi wonsem say dia ye be go back. Ni ahwe Nana Akufo-Addo. Ta nyoma nyina ye be check. You see, you may be an NDC guy. Enti e bia beka say, "Oh, yenko onko ompamo no onye sei." So wadi boni bi pa ye manenko. Nemum sa utie a aye emotional blackmail. Ye mpenasem, ye kokota. A unanimous FC. Enti because of that no yempamo no. Emrebi NDC for the omu case no call court. Petition 2020 petition no mu de call court no. Time me hu say NDC for nye serious. E wo court wo was yera ase edun ketia. Okọ ya na ye busa ne. I mean Supreme Court judge ba ku busa ne say okay. Yemfa ne say the figures na aba ne nyina no enye papa. Wo de away asedi nketia wo de away wantimi anka ehọ na me hu se NDC court no mko waste time ko yebusa asedi nketia se okay yemfa ne se de mosem wo ka na yisi wa wiem na figures ne ntesa na oye se fa wo de bra I say my lord we did not come here to the and na mu se let's be careful and yes sir ebedru baabi no out of ye emotions ne yempe no obi a owo experience obia wasua de to become a Supreme Court judge no enye your emotions so wasua de do certain level enti mo mentwe ye because ene de ye wo de tie de enti me ka sa assembly na afia to discussions ne say ye won nyoma bebre wo ho adwo Nana Akufo-Addo ye ya me ka ho asem say ye hwe ye enti say me ka John Mahama metimi aka because na no me kan but once a politician na maso odinti e ka chema mumfi se mu otumi ni e ka ne e wo ne ma ka kire mu sese ya mo nti ase enioma bibre wo ho na Nana Akufo-Addo na oya na ye ka kire ne se ade wei MPP mu hwe ye ebe ka mo ebe Ghana fo bi befuo ba mo si da bi obeye hwan me on the record easy Charlotte say me kamu say sa ade na Nana Akufo-Addo ye no eye political nyansa nim enso mo amfi me. There's no way I'm supporting Charlotte say there no because a pure hatred na ye political but MPP for justify na ene ntesa na hwan ene Chief Justice ne hwan ye hi nti ye fa kwan bia so na ye no okwa ebeduru baabi no kre ne say MPP for ba omo so bepa obi no atro petition ni apamo momo NDC Supreme Court judge no. It is a son of penny dear. Mommy and sa, and enquire. Aye, Mackay will be in Tiasie. But me say, so far as said John Mahama so or Pamu Chief Justice ya. Chief Justice where you be who saw your NDC ni. Said John Mahama Pamu ECA saa EC we ya no county ye ma John Mahama wini ya EC ne kwa de obeba ye EC next time say MPP ba MPP bi so be chuso mu EC MPP be chuso mu Supreme Court judge say saa na mo pa man no na ye nya panyi bi anka say hey mum ye nya ya ye nto aso e say ye ko